Hi guys, I'm Richie Ramone. We're gonna introduce you all about punk rock music. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah? Look at you. Cool. So, this is the book. And I'm Richie. I was in the band later from 83 to 87. This book is gonna tell you how the Ramones first came together back in 1974, I believe. So I want to read this to you. You guys don't have the things, but I'll show you the pictures and stuff, okay? Did I put my glasses on? Maybe. Do I need my glasses? That's it. Four friends in the neighborhood. The story begins in the early 70s in Queens, New York City, where people from many different countries,
There we go.
were people from many different countries and ethnic groups called home. It was a colorful and lively neighborhood full of hope and opportunity. It was in that neighborhood that four teenagers, Joey, Johnny, Tommy, and Dee Dee, met and shared their passion for music. See, there they are. See? A band called the Ramones. The people in the neighborhood eyed the four boys skeptically. The guys were hopeless. This is funny. The guys were hopeless with girls and terrible in school. They didn't have many friends and spent most of the time in Joey's mom's art gallery listening to rock records. One day, Johnny and Dee Dee showed up with second-hand guitars, and the four friends decided to form a band called the Ramones. Being called the Ramones was Tommy's idea. I'm not sure if that's true. It could have been Dee Dee's idea.
I know
I
why.
believe it was Dee Dee's idea.
Dee Dee's, right?
It came from Paul Ramone, the fake name that musician Paul McCartney of the Beatles used to check into hotels in order to avoid harassment from the fans. From that day, every member of the band would adopt the surname Ramone. That's how I'm Richie Ramone, and I was the third drummer to come into the band. You liking it? Rehearsal. They had all previously belonged to a neighborhood band, but none of them could play an instrument very well. The road wouldn't be easy, but they were all eager to create something authentic as the Ramones. The boys tried several different lineups until they found the formula that would make them legends. Joey Ramone is the voice, Johnny Ramone on guitar, Dee Dee Ramone on bass, and Tommy Ramone on drums. See that?
Yeah.
See it in there? Okay, this is fun. Let's listen. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to talk about Joey Ramone. His real name, Jeffrey Ross Hyman. Joey Ramone was born in New York and grew up with his mother, who inspired him in the world of art and music. He was a shy and unique boy, extremely thin, 6.5 feet tall, and always had his eyes behind sunglasses, usually with red lenses. Joey started out on drums, but quickly became the lead singer of the band. He performed with his long legs stuck firmly to the stage, his body tilting and his hands clutching the microphone, wailing and shouting as if there were no tomorrow. He also composed many of the band's songs. That's Joey. See? Johnny, whose name is John William Cummings, undoubtedly the rowdiest member of the group. Johnny Ramone was a teenager who was angry with life. His parents sent him to military school, hoping that a firm hand could tame the beast inside him. But soon Johnny returned to the neighborhood just as rebellious as before. Johnny was a powerful guitarist and went out on stage knowing that he and his band were the best. He would slam defiant chords at full speed on the Mosrite guitar strapped around his shoulder. There's Johnny. Yeah, that's the rowdiest guy. Dee Dee Ramone, real name Douglas Colvin. Douglas Glenn Coleman. Dee Dee Ramone was born in the United States and spent his childhood with his family in Germany. He returned to America as a teenager. Dee Dee was a very sensitive boy who lived in a universe of total fantasy. He was a poet who saw music as an escape. To earn money when the band first formed, he wandered through the streets of New York looking for odd jobs. Now we'll leave it right there.
No 53rd and 3rd.
In addition to writing a large part of the Ramones' repertoire and being in charge of the bass, he was the one who marked the beginning of each song with the iconic cry of 1, 2, 3, 4. He also sang backup to Joey. There's Dee Dee.
Yeah, Dee Dee.
Okay. Tommy, Thomas Erdeline, I think they spelled that wrong. Anyway, Tommy Ramone was born in Hungary. When he was a young boy, he and his family emigrated to the United States to escape the growing violence in Hungary. He had a better understanding of the music world than his bandmates. It was he who most insisted on putting a band together and who secured the rehearsal space and first concerts. Tommy wrote some of the songs and took over on the drums when Joey became the lead singer. He was the rhythm and the sanity of the group as they wandered the alleys of rock and punk. There's Tommy. He was the mastermind, what they called him. Got put it all together. Okay? Oh, the first concert. After practicing for a few weeks, the Ramones made their first official appearance as a band in a rehearsal hall. The concert was only attended by some friends of theirs. There were no more than 30 people in the room. The guys went on stage without having done the homework. They didn't sing their own songs and weren't able to keep up with the rhythms they started. In fact, the characteristic 1, 2, 3, 4 that Dee Dee opened the songs with was the only way they could all start at the same time. Uncoordinated and clumsy with their instruments, their first concert was a forgettable one. From that concert on, after several fights and a lot of practice and work, they improved their playing and even started writing their own songs. There they are at the first. I guess they set up somewhere and just had their friends come and play for them. They weren't that good in the beginning, but they kept going, and look what happened, right? See? What was it, Monty? Performance Studios. That's Monty Melnick. He was the
Tour
heavy
manager.
man. He was the man, tour manager for all those years. You want to come by, Mike? Okay. Now, the debut at CBGB. I don't know if anybody know that. It's not there anymore.
Not there.
A few months later, the Ramones managed to book a concert at CBGB, a cramped, grungy music club. It was a lively venue, popular among artists and moderns, and was one of the coolest places in New York City. That night, the room held about 300 people. The restless audience watched as the four gangly, hairy guys played at full volume. A good portion of the spectators left the club covering their ears from the noise. Others, however, understood that this band was playing rock as it should be played, with rawness, strength, and intensity. The band got invited back and played at CBGB every week. The Ramones were anti-heroes with a desire to show the world what they could do with or without the audience's applause. That's CBGB's right over here down the block. It was. The Ramones, the hymn of a tribe. The Ramones spoke and dressed as other young people on the streets did, and for this reason they became representatives of a tribe and a generation. They wore black leather jackets, high-top sneakers, t-shirts, and tattered pants with holes in them. They demonstrated that it wasn't necessary to have a typical luxurious image to play rock. The Ramones' image became the day-to-day symbol of the punk revolution.
Yeah.
See, so you gotta tell your mom you want to start dressing like this.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do.
And you're done.
Oh, look at that, recording the first album. For months, the Ramones played in theaters and venues in the Big Apple, gaining confidence and strength with each concert. Rock magazines began to write about them, and one day their music reached the ears of the owner of a small label, Sire Records. In a constant search for new talents, the owner recognized the potential of the band right away. The Ramones signed their first contract to record an album. They stopped performing so they could lock themselves in the studio. They toiled over each song, and after 2 exhausting weeks, the album was finished. The first album went on sale in record stores across the United States, and the cover image said it all. 4 guys with shaggy hair and serious faces. No frills, no bells or whistles. The Ramones were the reality they lived. Cool. And this is this picture. Here they are in the studio.
Ah.
Okay, recording. All right. Oh, trip to Europe.
Ooh.
After the release of their first album, the band climbed onto a plane and headed off to London. They crossed the Atlantic and entered the English capital ready to perform. Young people lined up at the legendary concert venue, the Roundhouse, to attend the Ramones' first concert in Europe. The concert was sold out. Even members of English punk bands who had come to see the Ramones perform were turned away at the door. Although it's said that they were soon invited backstage by the Ramones themselves. I think that's true. As Dee Dee yelled 1, 2, 3, 4, and the band started playing, the Roundhouse exploded with emotion and punk flooded the city. The band established themselves as punk role models, inspiring their fans and English bands with the strength of their sound. From that day on, the Ramones would be remembered eternally as pioneers and leaders of punk rock.
Yeah.
There you go. How was it? That's
Yes.
it, guys.
Thank you. Look at Wyatt. Wyatt's right
There's
here.
all the records they made,
Yeah.
all the albums. Very nice book.
You find out.
Very good. See?
You know, the
Let's
Ramones
go.
were famous for having the shortest songs. Right?
Huh?
The shortest songs.
Yeah.
It was great.
Did you like that?
So you guys, this is a rock star. He's a rock star.
You have my bag?
Oh, your bag. Miracles. Your bag. His bag.